All right, I might get started with some housekeeping just before we jump into the content for today. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining. This is our first superhero webinar for 2022. And today we're going to be talking all about super. I don't know about you guys, but my super is not something I think about day to day. So we thought, starting off the year, everyone's back to work now. We're all wanting to get on top of our money and think about it a little bit more for the next year. So a perfect time to talk a little bit more about superannuation in general, and also some detail on the product that Superhero Super offers. So as we go through the webinar, if you do have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A function that you should be able to see at the bottom of your screen. And I'll get to those at the very end. I'll try and answer as many as I can for you. If you do have any comments throughout the webinar, you can use the chat function. Feel free to say hi, let us know where you're joining in from. But if you do have any specific questions, please use the Q&A function because that will allow me to see them specifically and make sure that I don't lose any of them. I will just share my screen and then we'll get started. Just give me one moment. Alrighty, can everyone see my screen now? Maybe if someone just wants to pop in the chat and let me know that they can see my screen, that would be great. Awesome, can see it, amazing. So before we get started, I just wanted to let you all know about our updated financial advice disclaimer and our all of our details. So just a reminder that Superhero does not provide financial advice. It considers your personal objectives, financial situation, or particular needs, and all investments carry risk. So please make sure you consider the PDS and the target market determination that are available on our website, on our support page at superhero.com.au before you do make a decision to acquire, hold, or continue to hold an interest in Superhero Super. Now, we will be going through some charts and graphs today. So again, a reminder that past performance is not indicative of future performance and that any of the graphics, charts, and graphs that you see today are provided for illustrative purposes only and are historical. So what we'll go through today, before we jump into Superhero Super and what we offer, we thought it would be helpful just to take it back a little bit and look at some of the basics around superannuation in Australia and what we've seen in history, how super funds work, and then we'll jump into what is Superhero Super. So firstly, what is superannuation? Now, I'm assuming mostly everyone knows this, but just to set us up, super is the money put aside by your employer over your working life for you to live on when you retire from work. So it's something that the government set up for us to help us save for our retirement so that we can all sit on the beach and drink mojitos when we're past 65. So as of July 2021, the minimum superannuation requirement for employers is 10% of your ordinary income. And a great thing about super is that these employer contributions are taxed at a rate of 15%. So when you compare that to the marginal income tax rates, there is kind of a lower tax bracket there for superannuation contributions, which means that that money is getting set aside. It's mostly, we'll go through contributions in a moment, but your employer contributions are from your before tax income and they're taxed at a rate of 15%. And on the right there, you'll see an image of the superannuation choice form. You'll probably recognize this from when you started a new job. And again, we'll go through the types of super funds, but normally your employer will have an automated super fund they'll put you in, or you can choose your own. Now, there's been a lot of work recently to get people to consolidate their super funds where they might have had 2 or 3 and different employers have automatically put them into super funds. But the good news is that in recent years, there's been a lot of work done to make sure that we all know exactly where our super is and we're not paying any fees that we shouldn't be paying. So when it comes to contributing to your super, there are a range of different ways that this can be done. The most common one that we all would know of is the automatic contributions that come from our employer into our super fund. But there are also a range, and there's two different types of other contributions that you can make. So concessional contributions are from your before tax income, and these are taxed at the 15% super rate in your super fund. So the examples do include the normal employee contribution guarantees. You can also have salary sacrifice agreements where you can put more of your more of your income into your super, and any other personal contributions that you want to make to your super during the year. These are taxed at 15%, and there's a maximum of 27,500 you can put into concessional contributions per year. You can put in higher contributions if you like, but these are non-concessional, which means that they come from your after-tax income and they're not taxed in your super fund. So you need to account for tax normally, as in they are from your after-tax income. So you can make up to $110,000 in additional contributions to your super fund per year. But yeah, those won't get those special tax treatments that the concessional contributions do get. Now, again, I'm not a tax expert, so if you do have any specific questions, I'd recommend going to the ATO website. It's a great resource, and obviously consulting your tax professional as well. So types of super funds. There are a range of types of super funds in Australia you can go into that have different performance, different investment opportunities for you. So we thought we'd just go through a few of the main ones today. Again, I'm sure quite a few of you know this already, but the industry funds are the biggest, probably most well-known funds in Australia. So you think Australian Super, Hester, kind of the big names, they are likely to be an industry fund. And industry funds were initially created for workers of a particular industry, whether that be teachers or tradies. It was a way of, kind of having an option for those workers in a particular industry across multiple work sites. But now most of these are available for anyone to join. So you can do a quick search comparison for all of the industry funds that are out there. The difference between industry funds and retail funds that you can see there. So retail funds are run by often banks or other financial institutions. Superhero Super is a retail super fund. So these are open to all investors, but there's a little bit of a difference in the way that profits are distributed or used. So again, look up APRA or the ATO website for a bit more detail on that. But yeah, again, offer a range of different investment opportunities, and we'll go through Superhero Super specifically today. The public sector fund, this was originally created for federal and state government employees. Some of these are now open to anyone, but again, mostly reserved for employees of the Australian government. And then the last one is a self-managed super fund. Now, this is for investors that really do want to invest their super themselves. And you can use your self-managed super fund to invest in anything from shares to property. You can see there that setup costs and running expenses can be higher there. So again, with running your own self-managed super fund, there's a lot of administrative things that need to be done there, and there are costs associated. So with superhero trading, we do now offer the ability for someone to come on, set up a trading account on behalf of their self-managed super fund and actually invest in our platform through a trading account with their self-managed super fund. But what we'll be talking about today is Superhero Super, which is actually in the retail super fund space. So a little bit of a difference there. Again, if you do have any questions specifically on that, feel free to jump on live chat on our website, or you can email our team at hello@superhero.com.au, and they'll be able to help you out there as well to understand the difference between the two and which one might be right for you. Okay, so moving on to a few superannuation statistics that I thought would be interesting to share. The first one here shows total superannuation assets in Australia. So this number is even bigger now, but this just shows that the superannuation industry in Australia is really, really big. So in June, and I think in September, we were sitting around $3.4 trillion of assets sitting in super funds, which for comparison is larger than the entire ASX. So a lot of Australia's assets are sitting in super funds. And super funds are some of the biggest kind of investors in Australia, if you like. And that could be anything. Actually, I'll go through in a minute, but that is across a range of different asset classes as well. Again, there you can see the difference between what is made up with what they call APRA-regulated, super funds, which includes the likes of industry and retail funds. And then you can see their self-managed super funds, which makes up a smaller, but still quite a large chunk of superannuation assets in Australia. Next here, we have the rate of return, which I'm sure won't be surprising to anyone, that you can see there in June 2020, we did see a bit of a dip, particularly in the stock market, which obviously impacted quite a lot of super funds as well. But then throughout 2021, definitely saw a recovery there. And quite a lot of super funds performed quite well between 2020 and 2021. For those of you that are stock market investors, you'll notice that of very recent times, things have been a little bit volatile, but again, with superannuation particularly, we are in it for the long term. And so what's important is to obviously look at the performance currently, but also look at the fund's performance over a longer period of time as well. And asset allocation. So like I said, superannuation funds can obviously invest in the share market, but they can also invest in a range of different assets, from fixed income to cash, property, infrastructure projects, telco towers, the list goes on. So again, I think the importance of this is just, I'd recommend going in and having a look, and just make sure you know what your super fund is actually investing in. Really important if you're someone who has quite strong values in a particular area as well, or is passionate about a particular thing. Your super is your money and it's being invested on your behalf. So you want to make sure that you know exactly where that's invested, and really why Superhero Super exists. So we will jump into Superhero Super now. Bit of a backstory before I jump into just the product. Our founders, John and Wayne, I'm sure most of you have heard of them, were looking at the super industry as it stands today and wanted to make it easier for everyday Aussies to be able to have more of a say and have transparency over where their super is invested. Again, I'm not sure how often you check your super, but I definitely wasn't someone that checked my super very often. So for them, that was a problem that they wanted to try and solve, to get Aussies more engaged with their super and give them the ability to choose where it's invested if they want to. So Superhero Super sits within the same platform as our trading platform, if you like. So you can access your super within the same Superhero app, but it sits under a different account. So you do need to sign up for that separately from your profile if you've got a trading account and you want to sign up for Superhero Super. So it is a different product, but it does sit within the Superhero app, and it allows you to invest your super your way. So we'll go through the different account types in a moment and the different investment options. But there's no need for a self-managed super fund. So we do all of the, admin for you, all of the tax related things. It's all done for you as it is in a normal super fund. And there are insurance options available too. So we have life insurance and total permanent disability, or TPD insurance, available as well. Now, when it comes to what you can actually invest in, we have two different options with different flexibility of control here. So the first one is called Autopilot, and this one is a little bit more of a set option, if you like, or there's less flexibility in what you can invest in. So 70% of that account option will be invested in our Global Diversified Index option, which is the Vanguard Diversified Balanced Index Fund. And we'll go through that fund specifically in a moment. But 70% will be allocated there, 70% or more. And then you can allocate up to 30% of your super into a range of pre-selected ETFs. So I believe there's 6 available, and there's a tech ETF you can invest in, a healthcare, a global sustainability, and there's also cash and gold options available for you too. So that one there has kind of a significant portion in our balance fund, and then you can move around the other 30% with a range of different investment options. Your contributions with this account option as well will be invested automatically. So you come in, you'll set up your percentages and what you want in each investment option. And then when your contributions come in from your employer, those will be allocated automatically depending on those selected percentages. The other account option that we have is called Control. And like it says in the name, it gives you a lot more direct investment control. So you can invest up to 75% of your super into direct shares and ETFs. And that is ASX 300 shares and a range of ETFs. Now, that list is available on our website on the support page. You'll be able to see our available product list for Superhero Super. And what we've done there is we've got a range of different investment limits for individual stocks and individual ETFs to kind of help with risk management there. So just check that to make sure. I mean, it's automated in terms of what you can invest, but that does give you the exact percentages of what you can invest in each stock and ETF. But it is the ASX 300 that's available, and a range of, I think it's over 100 ETFs that you can invest in. So a lot of different options available there. Again, no SMSF required there. It has all of the insurance options available. The difference here is that you invest your contributions yourself. So when your employer contribution comes in, very similar to how you receive a deposit in your trading account, you'll get a message from us saying that you've received a contribution and that it's sitting there ready for you to invest. And the way that the investment, if you like, platform works in Superhero Super for this option is very similar to what our trading platform looks like. So if you're comfortable using Superhero for your normal investments in your trading account, it'll look very, very similar for our control account. You'll invest the same way, and the dashboards look quite similar as well. So you'll be nice and familiar with how it works and what it looks like. So our global diversified index portfolio, this is where either 70% if you're in the Autopilot account option or 25% minimum. Again, you can scale up from that point in either account options. We've got the minimums there, but you can add more into the global diversified portfolio if you like, and you can kind of scale that as you go. So the underlying investment of this portfolio is the Vanguard Diversified Balanced Index ETF, so VDBA. And you can go and search this on Google if you like. I'd say the best resource here is the Vanguard website. You'll be able to download fact sheets, understand full performance, asset allocation. I've given a little bit on the right here. You can see the allocation of where they tend to allocate their assets across asset classes. But if you want more information, the Vanguard website is awesome. And this ETF provides low-cost access to a range of sector funds, offering broad diversification across multiple asset classes, as you can see there. And this balanced ETF is designed for investors seeking a balance between income and capital growth. And it targets a 50% allocation to income asset classes and a 50% allocation to growth asset classes. So again, depending on your risk appetite, how diversified you want to be, you can scale this percentage up and down in your account. And the performance till the 28th of Jan 2022, it had a 1-year performance of 9.04% and a 3-year, but per year performance of 10.14%. So again, you can go into the Vanguard website and see that more specifically, but that gives you a little bit of an idea as to what this ETF holds and some of the performance as well. Great. So again, we went into the account options just a little bit before, but to give you a better idea of what's available, this is the Autopilot investment options. Now, all of these are actually available in the control option as well, But when it comes to Autopilot, these are your options, and you can invest up to 30% of your super into a range of these options with up to 10% in each one, if you like. So you could go in and select 5% on all 6 of them. You could do 3 for 30%. It just depends on again, your own preferences there. But you can see there's a range of different options from US tech to Asia tech, global healthcare, climate leaders, gold, and high interest cash as well. And your control account, again, I already mentioned it's the ASX 300 index and some exchange traded funds, but just an understanding of a few different companies there that you can invest in. Afterpay there, which is moving to block, but again, you can invest in tech, you can invest in property companies, banks, ETFs. You've got Sydney Airport, Telstra is listed there. So a real range of stocks you can invest in yourself and have that in your super, not just in your trading account. And I just wanted to show everyone where to find that list I was talking about, where you can see the breakdown of each individual stock and what you can invest in. So it's available on our website, and it's called Available Investments, the approved product list. So if you go into our support page on our website, you'll be able to see that form there. And if you can't find it, please feel free to just jump onto live chat on our website, and they'll be able to link you straight to that link there. Great. Now, I thought it was important to mention ethical investing. And again, the definition of ethical really does differ for everyone. So again, this is more about just understanding where your values lie and what you really want to be investing in or do not want to be investing in. And I just wanted to cover off a couple of options on particular themes if you were interested and how you can actually be exposed to that. So in the Autopilot account option, you can see there, a climate leaders theme is actually the BetaShares Global Sustainability ETF, or ETHI is the ASX code. And that's an option there if you want to be exposed to stocks that are identified as climate leaders. This also has a screen to exclude companies with direct or significant exposure to fossil fuels or engaged in activities deemed inconsistent with responsible investment considerations. So an option for you there. And in the control option, some ETFs that you can invest in. There's a range there. Again, ETH is there if you want to invest in that one, but there are a few others as well. And if you're looking at specific sectors, again, we've got a range of categories on our website. Sorry, not on our website, on our Invest dashboard that you can scroll through and have a look. But look at renewables and clean energy. Look for ESG screening. Again, there's a bunch of information online that you can look at for that, and companies that are identified as B Corps as well. But again, really depends on exactly what your investment preferences are there. And how to join Superhero Super. Now, this is a pretty brief explanation of how to join. So again, if you do have any questions, feel free to jump onto live chat or email us at hello@superhero.com.au, and we can give you more detailed info for your circumstance. But to put it simply, to join Superhero Super, you want to log into your trading account. So you need to have a trading account in order to join Superhero Super. You'll then go to your profile. And from your profile, you'll see an add an account button. So when you click on the add an account button, you'll see the option to join Superhero Super. So you click that button if you want to join, and then you will go through this setup process. So the first step of this is actually putting in your ABN. So not your ABN, your tax file number. You'll need your tax file number, which you can find on any of your previous tax returns. And you'll pop that in. And what that actually does is we then communicate with the ATO, and they'll tell us or tell you as well where your super is sitting today and how much of it you've got. So for example, you have 2 different super funds, it will pull back those 2 super funds and how much is sitting in each one. You can then choose to roll over all of your super, roll over some of your super if you'd like, or you don't actually have to roll over any super. So again, it really does depend on your preferences and what you want to do, but you pop in your tax file number and it'll kind of automate that process for you if you like. You'll hit if you want to roll over, and then you'll choose your investment option. So here's where you select whether you'd like to do autopilot or control, you'll be able to, in autopilot, set up those percentages of the different investments. And in control, you won't set that up initially. You'll wait until you get through the process, and you can see there on the very right where you'll then come to and be able to invest your super once you receive your rollover and contributions. So once you get through that process, it's not on this slide, but you'll need to send your employer a form which will allow your contributions. If you want your future contributions to go to Superhero Super, you'll be able to access an automatically filled out form in your super profile, which then you can just simply email to your employer and they'll be able to send your future contributions. That, again, is downloadable from your profile. And you'll be able to switch between your trading account and your super account really easily. So when you're in either account, you'll see a little arrow next to your name, and you'll be able to hit that, toggle down, and toggle between your two accounts. So I think a great benefit of this is you're just able to see your super balance and where you're invested in at any point. It's as easy as logging into your trading app. Your super will also be there, and you can toggle really easily between the two. Again, with the control option, you'll always receive a notification from us when you receive a rollover or a contribution. So you'll know that you're ready to invest, or you have money there available, and you've got all of the same kind of features as you have available in the trading account. So you can see there, you'll be able to see where you're diversified in that control option.